What's up? My name's Logan Marks, and this is episode 2 of the Woodworking Show with no name. If you're looking for a cool present to build someone that nobody else is going to think of, that's simple, doesn't take a bunch of complicated tools, and the best part, is cheap. Each one of these can be built for under 20 bucks and uses a single 1x8 and a thin piece of plywood or whatever you want to use for a back. If you stay tuned, I'm going to show you how I did it. Let's do it. Alright, here we go. So all I have here are a couple 1x8s. The only reason I have 2 is because I'm making 2 of these because there are 2 people in my family that saw the one that my wife has and wants one. So we're going to build today's entire project out of one of these and then your choice of backer. I didn't include that in the title. You don't actually have to put a back on one of these if you don't want. I'm just using one of the really cheap thin pieces of plywood. I'll put the price there. I think the total cost of this, if you don't count glue and brad nails, was under $20 or really close. So it's a super fun project. It's a really practical project because everyone can use this in their kitchen, I think, and everyone would probably like it. And you can pick all different kinds of woods. If you wanted to get fancy, you could use oak or something else. But anyway, I'm going to put a diagram up on the screen now so you see how we're going to split this board up, and then we got some cuts to make, so let's do it. Alright, now you're going to want to take the other side of that board you split in half and make sure, like I said, you double check because I got a 3 1/2 and then a 3 5/8 because apparently my 1x8 wasn't exact width. Alright, now you're going to take your 2 sides and you're going to come down 2 7/8 of an inch. I'm going to use a 1 3/8 inch Forstner bit. If you don't have a drill press, a regular drill works just as good. And if the largest spade bit you have is 1 inch, you could just make the rod that goes through it smaller. Totally up to you. Work with the tools you have. Don't feel bad. I'm not... Alright, now you should have 2 pieces with a hole in each side of it. Or, if you're building multiples for Christmas presents like me, you have a bunch of them. The top and one side on, and so you can get a picture, there's going to be a shelf right here that we're going to build a drawer to go inside. Make sure the distance between is 3 3/4 of an inch. So that's how far you can measure up from the bottom and make a mark. Now we're going to build the drawer that goes right here. Alright, so the next piece that we're making is the little drawer that's going to just float in here. There's no sliders or anything like that. The reason we cut these to the length we did is that way there's just a little bit of play for you to slide it out. So the one that's in my kitchen has a half circle just routed out. But to keep with the whole theme of building this entire thing from a 1x8, I took some of the leftover pieces, cut these little scraps, and I'm going to make a little pull that you just grab a hold of to pull it out. Let's do it. you have the world's simplest drawer put together, you're almost ready to go. The only thing left to do is whatever size hole you drilled, cut a rod. The one in my kitchen is square. It doesn't really affect it at all. It'll still spin around in there. Just make sure it's smaller than the hole that it's gonna go through. And then the optional part, which I talked about before, because this is gonna set on people's counters, and this is like a really simple drawer, you could leave it like it is, or you can put it back on it. I have really thin sheets of plywood, so I'm gonna put it back on it right now. Personally am going to sand and stain both of these. There's a ton of options for customizing this. You could use a better kind of wood, you could paint, you can stain. I've thought about rebuilding the one in my house and making it the same color as our kitchen cabinets and using the same hardware that our cabinets do, but there you go, stained, finished, ready for a bow, ready to go under the tree. Hopefully you picked up something useful from this video and it gave you an idea of maybe how you could build one of these or make a customized one that fits whatever kitchen you want it to go in. I think it's an awesome Christmas present just because it can be done cheap, quick, you can make it for a bunch of people, and it's functional, and nobody else is gonna think of this unless they watch my videos. But I only have like 340 subscribers, so there's a good chance